Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host Paul Jasson. It is, and we've waited for this officially, at least on paper, springtime in Lancaster and Fairfield County. We are into the springtime. We're waiting for the great weather to come, but it is out there. You can see every day, perhaps a little warmth is coming. We're looking forward to that, and of course with the spring, and then we know the good temperatures and the summer is coming. So we're pretty excited about all that. Interesting show today. The second half, we're talking a little artsy things with the Lancaster Community Chorus. We'll have their director, Clarence McCoy, in. We'll chat with that in the second half. There are a couple of dates that you don't even need to say more. Most people know what they mean. I think December 7th, most people remember what that date represents with Pearl Harbor. November 22nd, many, not everybody now, remembers that was John F. Kennedy's assassination date. But I think the one iconic date that everyone remembers, you simply have to say it, you know what it means, is April 15th. Bingo, the light comes on. We know what it is, and here to talk about that, if it's April 15th, we've got our favorite CPA with us, Tim Oatney. Tim, thank you for joining us. It's getting to be your time of the year, buddy.
Is there something going on April 15th that you're talking about? I don't know. I don't understand.
That scares us if you don't know what that is, Tim. It scares us. I don't know. Does it increase dramatically this time of the year for you, say
Yes,
in the
does.
last month? Dramatically.
Well, you see, we have the people who want to get it done early, and those people are already in and out. And then you get the people who procrastinate,
Which are a far larger group, I would guess.
Well, but you see, a lot of those people, they're watching March Madness right now, and they don't care about their taxes, not for another week or so.
Yeah, we've got 2 weeks.
So you see, and then April
It's
April
here.
15th here. Yeah.
And then when I turn it in, I say, "Have you got it done yet?
That's
Have
what
you
they
got
say.
it done
That's
yet?"
exactly what they say.
Well, believe me, you know me. You know how I play that game. You
Yep,
understand that.
I do.
So it's getting to be in a hectic time of the year. April 15th is coming. We've got a few questions here to ask you,
Yep.
and they're kind of all over the board. They're just, but I think they're general questions that a lot of people may find interesting. So we'll give this a shot.
Okay.
And I think let's get the big one out of the room. The elephant in the room is, as a rule, do you think I'll be paying less in taxes this year? With all the changes that went on, that seems to be perhaps a feeling.
And that all depends. And the reason I say it depends is because, and what I've seen as a trend, is a lot of people, their tax bill is lower because if they made about the same income from last year, the tax rates went down, so their tax bill is lower. However, what they failed to understand or remember is their employer withheld less money as well. So the refund amount that they were accustomed to is not the same as what it is this year. Again, it was pay me now, pay me later. They got it every week or every payday.
Yeah.
And now it's time to know they don't get that large refund or now even a deficit. Maybe they have to pay a little bit. And when they finally finish up and realize that this year, what they need to do is go back to their employer and change their W-4, and so either increase the withholding, decrease the withholding, whatever they need to do, but that's where they need to go, so they're not in the same predicament next year this time.
So I guess that'd be the question. If they are in this predicament this year, if they don't make a change,
They'll
that
be there next
predicament will definitely
Yes,
be there.
because as of today, we don't expect any changes for this year, but that remains to be seen.
We've got a year to figure on that.
I know.
Yeah, okay, very good. A lot of people in this climate now have full-time jobs and lots work a part-time gig too. They have something else. So if you do have a full-time job and then you also work perhaps a part-time job, a big thing with a lot of people, depending on their job, is work-related expenses. Is that still something they can deal with?
Well, if that part-time gig is self-employment, then the answer is yes.
Okay.
If the answer is they're just an employee for somebody for wage, the answer would be no. Because that whole section where we can take job-related expenses was taken out of the Schedule A itemized deduction that no longer exist.
Okay, very good. One of the questions I think you'll always hear, and fortunately, I don't have a mortgage to deal with these days. I'm a little bit beyond that, so that's good. But I know with all the tax changes, that's always an issue. Are mortgage deductions still out there?
Mortgage deductions, and here again, they are still allowable. What's driven this question is home equity loans, HELOCs. And HELOCs,
home equity loans.
If you go back, and again, you remember, I remember, before Reagan, you could deduct your credit card interest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Reagan came in, he said no more credit card interest. So what we did was we said, hey, go refi that credit card interest into a HELOC.
Sure.
Because if you put it on your home, it was deductible. As of 1/1/18, if that's what you have, you cannot no longer deduct that HELOC.
Oh.
Now, you can deduct it. This is where the confusion comes in. If you got a HELOC to buy, build, or improve your home, that's deductible. But if you got a HELOC to buy a new car because you could deduct the interest, it's not deductible.
Use it for other things other than perhaps
other than
intention.
your home.
Yes.
Right. So that's where the confusion is coming in, because I know some people say, well, we can't deduct it all. Well, that's not a true statement depending on their circumstance.
And I kind of get that in many of your answers. That's the way it is, except if this is true.
Yeah,
except if A is true, then it is acceptable.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's the tax law. That's the tax law.
So we're not getting close to not needing accountants, you don't think?
Isn't that great?
I can see you smiling all the way to the bank on that one, Tim. Very good. Another one that's interesting, too, I think, is itemizing is your deductions and charitable giving. You hear things out there where that's no longer a deduction.
Again, it is a deduction. Now, again, the confusion comes in. The standard deduction last year for a married couple was $12,700. That's in 17.
Okay.
In 18, the standard deduction is $24,000. After they changed it last year, I kind of paid more of attention to what was the average in my office. It turned out it was about $19,000
For
more Schedule A itemized deduction. So the mortgage interest, taxes,
all
and charitable,
deductions.
all that combined was about $19,000. Well, so this year they can have the same $19,000, and in one respect you can say, well, they can't deduct it because it takes 24, the standard deduction, meaning that it looks like they can't deduct the charitable. But there is a better way, and again, this is where the people have to talk to their accountant and or learn how to do this, but you can do what we call the bunching rule. And again, there's all kinds of ways to do this to make it work.
So that's a question that needs to be talked about.
Absolutely. They need to be talking to somebody like myself or another accountant, or read up on the law if they're doing it themselves, whatever. But it can be done.
Okay. We're late March, less than a month away now for April 15th. That's the big day. If someone, let's say, and I know this depends on whether they got it in a month ago, whether they're going to get it in on April 14th, whenever that is, but how long is the expectation on the refund arrival?
About 2 weeks.
Regardless?
Once it's electronically filed, it's about 2 weeks. It goes a little faster, maybe 3 weeks if they ask for a check versus electronic deposit.
They still do that? I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, people still want checks. Some people still want checks.
All right.
And then of course if they file by paper and don't file electronically, that's going to take about 6 weeks.
Okay.
Right.
So that's if everything goes smoothly. Everything is,
absolutely.
you turn it in, everybody's signed, no dates, no signatures missing.
Yes.
Everything is done. What are the typical things you see? And probably in your office you look for a lot of these, so you don't. But if somebody perhaps does it themselves, maybe they make some mistake. What's the delay aspect of this? What can cause that?
They transpose numbers.
Yeah.
Forget
Actual mathematical errors.
Yeah, mathematical error.
Okay.
Forget to put somebody's social security number down. Don't sign the paper if it's by paper, because by electronic they don't see a signature anymore. Those would be probably the standard. From there, again, could be anything else that they might have, but those are probably the most usual kind of mistakes.
Do you think a mathematical error is always caught 90% of the time, 99% of the time?
Probably.
Really?
Probably.
If
yeah.
it's an error, plus or minus, it doesn't matter. If
Yeah.
it's an error, it's found.
And they'll give you, just because they're just adding up the math,
Sure.
IRS will send you a letter saying, hey, it didn't add up and you wanted $2,000. Well, we figured it's $1,980, and then that's what they'll get you.
And I've been, I didn't even know if they still have the big IRS office in Cincinnati. Maybe they do.
Well, it's over in Covington,
Is
but
that-
yes.
Yeah. So it's still there.
Yep.
And I've been there, and I've been a tour of that place. It's a massive place.
Sure is.
So is somebody there, when they're looking for math error, is this an individual that's actually looking at that, or is it somehow a
It's
computer?
a computer. It's a computer.
Because they got a lot of people.
Yeah.
They got a lot of people.
Yeah. The computer's looking at everything.
Sure.
And in fact, most everything is generated by the computer. It probably doesn't hit a human for somewhere down the stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing that everybody was talking about, at least this past year, was that government shutdown. It affected lots of people. Well, it affected, I think, very few people, but some people it affected in different ways. How about from a tax standpoint? Can people expect things to be slower?
From an individual income tax right now that we're filing and getting your refund or payment or whatever, everything is on time. Everything's working just the way it should. Yeah, there might be a hiccup someplace, but for most everybody, there's no hiccups. I know when I'm electronically filing, I did some this morning, and probably within a half an hour they're accepted and everything goes smooth. Yes.
So they're at least inside the
Oh yeah.
in the building, and
Yeah.
they've
I
got
get an
they've
email
done-
back that tells me
Okay.
that's been done.
All
Yep.
right. So now you've done that. I've turned it into you. We've finished it. You've turned it in. Is there a way that me as the individual now can check to see that is moving along? You know
Yes.
it's moving along,
Yes.
but can we kind of follow that?
Absolutely.
Like a tracking number?
Yep. Well, not a tracking number, but they can go to irs.gov, and they can press the button that says, where's my refund, which is right about in the middle of the top. And then when they open that up, the information they need is the primary Social Security number. So if it's husband and wife, whoever's on the top line, that's the primary. And then they have to know what marital status they were, married, single, head of household, whatever. And then they have to know what the refund amount was that they were expecting. They put all that money, all that information in, and then it'll pop up and it'll say, well, yep, we have your return. And it has 3 little bars, and it tells you what status it's in.
Okay.
And then it'll tell you even what day they expect to deposit your check into your checkbook. It's very cool.
I guess a quick aside from that, a lot of fraud. I mean, there's a lot of things going on there where people are trying to jump in there and grab numbers, and
Yes.
because there's lots of information available right there. If somebody can get into that, they've got a lot of
They've
info.
got a lot of information. That's
Yeah,
right.
so you still
That's
think there's some of that going on
right.
there?
Oh, absolutely is.
Yeah.
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 And one other word to the wise to your people is that's where they need to know, even when they go see a tax preparer, they need to know the integrity of the person they're working with.
Sure.
Because quite frankly, if they walked into a person who doesn't have the integrity they should, they can take all that information and they've got everything they need to work fraud afterwards, or to sell the list or whatever.
Sure,
You have
sure.
to know who you're working with.
As a rule, that's a good rule.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talking with Tim Oatney, CPA. Got a couple minutes here, Tim, and one thing I wanted to get to, and we've got a couple questions we can get to, but this is one thing that was in the paper recently about unclaimed funds getting ready to expire.
Yes.
That's not good if your number is, if you're one of these people.
Right.
Your time is, the clock's ticking.
Right. So what we're talking about here is the 2015 tax returns.
2015.
There's a 3-year statute of limits.
Okay.
So that was due April 15 of 16. So April 15 and 19, your 3 years are up. So if you didn't file your return for 15, and if you then decide in August this year to file your return for 15 for whatever reason, and you had a $2,000 refund, IRS is going to say, thank you. Thank you for filing, but we get to keep the money. And you will not get that money back.
So there's no recourse.
Nope.
I can go to you and say, Tim,
Nope.
what can you do for me?
Nothing I can do.
Say you blew it.
Yep.
Yep.
You got 3 years and that's it.
Yeah. And
So-
is there some notification that's been going on?
Probably not.
Yeah, maybe at one time there was,
There
or
might
you
have
knew
been.
it at once, and then.
But again, it's up to the individual to have filed that return. And a lot of these could even be an elderly person who didn't know they overpaid their estimates or whatever,
Sure.
and then they didn't file. Maybe they're now in a nursing home, so nobody filed. Who knows? Okay, or it could be some students in college, and they thought, well, hey, we only get $20 back. We're not going to file.
No.
So that's where that money's coming from.
April 15th is coming. That's why we have Tim on. Final question.
Yeah.
How quick is your vacation starting after April 15th?
About 4 days after.
April 19th, then you're going to be someplace
Yeah,
sunny.
I'll be someplace else. And April 16th, I'll be out mushroom hunting.
Excellent. And good luck on
That's
both of those. And that may be the most important thing. Everybody loves good mushrooms.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Tim Oatney, you can look that up, search that. He has a great firm on 6th Avenue there. You can look him up. What's your phone number?
740-687-1192.
1192. You can use that number. You can check and find him online. He's a nice website, very interactive and things you can find there. Tim, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
Hang in there till April 19th. It'll
Have to.
clear up after that. Tim Oatney's been our guest. We'll be back on Fairfield Today in just a moment.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster or 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Paul Jasson, your host. Thank Tim Oatney for coming in. We're going to make a quick change from perhaps to some the dry world of taxes to the arts, and we'll make a dramatic change here in just a moment. We'll talk about the Lancaster Community Chorus, but right now I want to mention the good folks here at Fairfield Federal. We are officially into springtime, and perhaps your thoughts are turning to maybe you need a little renovation in your home. Maybe that kitchen needs expanded or new cabinets, maybe something like that. Maybe you're thinking about adding another room onto your home when springtime hits. Maybe outside it's a deck or as I say, another room, you're thinking about it. A good place to start your search would be fairfieldfederal.com. They have a really good interactive website, lots of information right there, the names of the people you'll call. They have a lot of rates listed right there. How things actually will work. You can find a lot of the really the grunt work, the mechanic work right there on the website. And then if you need to pursue further, again, there are numbers to call and folks you can talk to. You don't get a voicemail. You actually get to talk to a local person who will make those local decisions. So fairfieldfederal.com. And this springtime of the year, if some of your thoughts are turning to money and maybe some different needs in the spring, fairfieldfederal.com is a place to look. One of the groups, I think, in the last few years that has really, at least in my estimation, captured the interest of the public is the Lancaster Community Chorus. How many years now has this been going on as the LCC?
As the Community Chorus, this is our 7th season.
In 7 years,
Yes.
it's been amazing to watch the crowds. I don't know that they've gotten much bigger. In some cases they have, but they've been really great crowds, very enthusiastic,
Absolutely.
very big numbers too. So in 8 years, it's amazing the impact I think that this group has had.
Absolutely, I would agree that that's true, and some of that is just a testament to our community and how they support endeavors such as this. I get communications all the time from people who conduct similar groups in Ohio, and although they often say nice things about the quality of our group, one of the biggest questions they always have is how do you get so many people to show up for your concerts, because they don't have similar experiences. And all I say is we get the word out, and we have people here who support the arts in Lancaster.
Lancaster Community Chorus, that's kind of an evolving thing. This is the third iteration of that. I think it started out maybe as the Unity Singers.
Correct.
Then it became the Celebration Singers.
Yes.
And then it evolved into now, for the 8th year, the Lancaster Community Chorus. And it's kind of changed its mission a little bit. It's really now an audition-driven group. People try out for it. You have 80, 90 members, I think, somewhere in that, depending on
Right.
what concert you're going into.
Yes.
But always a theme for it. So it's just been, again, it's evolved and changed, but still, again, very popular.
Correct, yeah, throughout all of those iterations. They've been very popular groups, but this particular format seems to really be working as far as both numbers of singers in the group and numbers of folks who show up in the audience. All of those things are vastly improved in this form. Why that is, I don't know, although we've modeled after other groups that were similar in format and were equally successful. So, it's evidently a formula that works. And the fact that it is an audition group, people know it's a quality group. Folks who are part of it can tell you how intense rehearsals are, how because we have to learn so much music in such a short amount of time, and we like to do that at a quality level. So we work and work and work to make that happen. But we have a little fun along the way too, and making music is always a good thing. So.
And there's always a theme for it in each of the 3 concerts that you do annually. Is a theme. The next one is coming up this Sunday, March 31st. It's called From the Heart. Shane will give you a good shot of the poster here, a very nice poster that's up here. From the Heart, Lancaster Community Chorus, From the Heart. What's the sense of the message in this one?
Sure. Love, there's so much music written about love. Obviously,
Shocking.
that's there. Absolutely,
Shocking.
that's there. And then other matters of the heart too. There are songs in here that deal with grief and just steadfastness, and steadfastness. There you go.
That's easy on that love
yeah,
thing
absolutely.
there.
We'll leave that alone. We'll leave that
rough
alone.
there,
Yeah, that's
Clarence.
right.
Come on.
But there's so many things dealing with matters of the heart, and we've tried to do our best to come up with a variety of music that captures different ideas involving the heart.
Well, it's this Sunday out at Crossroads Ministry Center out on West Fair Avenue. And if you've known that place, probably most people have had some reason to either drive by, see it, or had a moment to be inside it. It's a large venue, but there'll be a good crowd on there. So how can tickets? I know they're available at the door, but you can get them ahead of time too.
Sure, yeah. I anticipate a good crowd for this because we'll talk about it a little bit. We do have a guest artist singing on this concert as well, which I think will bring in some more audience members. So we'll be pretty full. So I would recommend getting your tickets in advance if at all possible. You can do that. You can visit our website, lancastercommunitychorus.com. You can call one of our chorus officers, 740-653-5207. Again, 740-653-5207, and they can make arrangements to get tickets to you. And then any of the chorus members, the folks who sing in the chorus, if you know any of those, can get tickets for you as well in advance.
And we'll circle back to that about tickets and how that's available. We'll talk about it again. But let's get to the music. From the Heart is the theme, and there's not many pieces of music to choose from here, probably tens of thousands.
Yes, absolutely.
And you hone it down to maybe 10 or 15 pieces, which has got to be the daunting task
that
when
is,
you begin
yes.
really looking at it, and you've got it down to the ones you think are there. That can't be easy.
That's often
on a theme like this.
That's right. That's often the Herculean task. It's not finding enough music. It's taking the music that's there and forming that into a good program that provides variety as far as types of music and folks that different segments of the music that different segments of the audience might appreciate. In this case, our guest artists happen to be high school students, so we want to make sure that we have music that will work for them, that will speak to them as well as those of us. The range of the chorus is everything from high school age up through the joke is always people who don't even remember high school, so we try to make sure that there's a program there that speaks to all of those folks, and I think we've been fairly successful in doing that this time and throughout our history.
So, and again, you all, as you mentioned, you generally have a guest artist, whether it's a handbell ensemble or the community band. Somebody's with us. Who's the guest artist this time?
This time it's the Lancaster High School Chamber Singers, which is
pretty high level.
It's the top vocal group at Lancaster High School. There are 5 choirs there, and they're also auditioned, and these are the students that are the top that are at the highest level of development there. It's a little daunting task for us to have another choral group there that's going to be that level. That's a little pressure on us.
And they're good.
They are very good.
They are good
to deliver that as well. So we're excited by that. That's a group of about 60 singers, directed by Sandy McCoy. You might notice the similarity of last names.
You're related?
We are indeed by marriage.
Okay. All right.
And Sandy is the director of vocal music at Lancaster High School, and this group is absolutely outstanding. We're excited to have them here. This is the second time that this group has been with us. We've also had the Singing Gales from there in the past, and the men's ensemble from there has joined us for concerts in the past. We enjoy doing that. That's watching those young people sing, letting those young people see those of us who are not so young still singing, and seeing that that's something they can do their entire lives. That's an important message, I think, to communicate.
And actually, some of the young people that are in your group, or in Sandy's group there at the high school, they sing in.
That is correct.
In your group.
That is correct. And we've had a history of that, of folks from the high school coming to sing as part of the Lancaster Community Chorus, another avenue to share their talents and get some different experiences.
It's this Sunday, 3 o'clock, out at Crossroads Ministry Center, the Lancaster Community Chorus from the Heart. When we run down some of the music here, and again, this is the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme.
The best I could come up with anyway.
Or what Clarence could come up with, whatever
yeah,
works.
I'm excited that we're going to do, the first half is all the chorus, with the exception of, and we're doing a wide mix. The opening song is called The Secret Melody, and it's about having a melody in your heart that wants to come out. And it's written by a gentleman named Dr. Cook, Hyun Cook from South Korea. He is actually a medical doctor who does heart research there. He's in charge of an institute that does that, and he does this as a side, and he's very popular there, and has begun to be popular here. He is literally, yes, from the heart. It's from a heart doctor in this particular case, and it's got an infectious melody that you'll just wander out of there whistling after it's over. And we go from that to we're doing a requiem, a piece that was written after the 2004 Asian tsunami, which is really just expressing, feelings of the heart that maybe only can be expressed in this way.
That might be my favorite.
Yeah, it's in mine as well. So that's awesome. We're doing a piece by Patrick Hawes, who was a composer in residence for the Lancaster Festival in 2011.
Sure, a name well known.
Yeah, and wrote a piece we commissioned, the festival commissioned for him, and very well known British composer. We're doing a piece, he wrote a larger work called The Beatitudes, setting a different portion of the Beatitudes, and this is Pure in Heart. That one, an absolutely gorgeous piece of music, and excited to be doing that quality level of literature. And I like that one very much as well. We have a small ensemble that's doing One Hand, One Heart from West Side Story.
West Side Story.
Yeah. Our accompanist, Brenda Graff, is doing a wonderful piano solo, I Can't Help Falling in Love with You, that was put on YouTube by the Piano Guys, for those who are part of that. So that's, again, a part of the variety that we offer, and we're so excited that Brenda is part of our organization as well and brings her wonderful gifts to us. And then we're doing some pop things. We're doing You'll Be in My Heart from the movie Tarzan, the animated movie Tarzan, quite a while ago that came out, but recorded by Phil Collins, who was in Columbus this past fall. So that's a good thing. We're also doing a Beatles song, All You Need Is Love, the old standard that you hear played on band room pianos all over the place, Heart and Soul, a good arrangement of that. So we have a broad mix of things that we are doing. Then the Lancaster High School Chamber Singers are going to do a set of their own, I think of 3 or 4 songs they're going to do. And then at the end, we're going to put 2 songs together, all of us. So the 60 of them and the 80 some of us are all going to sing together for the last 2 songs. The first of which is called Omnia Soul, and it was actually the inspiration behind this concert. When I was looking for a theme for the concert, I really wanted to include this song. Omnia Soul includes the line, "Let your heart be stayed," S-T-A-I-D, steadfast, and just absolutely love that piece. And it's powerful, and we have all those voices singing together. It's going to be good. And then we're closing up the concert with, and this was appropriate too, with the movie Bohemian Rhapsody out recently, the Queen song, Somebody to Love. We're going to feature a couple of outstanding soloists with the 2 groups all together, and that's going to be a fun way to end the concert, I think.
Wait, it sounds like a mix, a little something for everybody.
That's
even
the
with
plan.
the theme
Yes.
from the heart. It's this Sunday out at Crossroads Ministry Center, and again, tickets, you'd suggest doing it ahead.
I would, if you can. Again, LancasterCommunityChorus.com, 740-653-5207. But they will be available at the door. The concert starts at 3. The doors open at 2:30. Ticket sales start about 2.
Okay.
So, yes.
It'll be a big concert. The chamber singers there, the Lancaster Community Chorus. It'll be a fun Sunday out there. So
It will be.
We'll watch for a good crowd and a good report.
That'd be great.
Clarence McCoy, Director of the Lancaster Community Chorus. Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home,